Good morning. Could you guys hear me? Awesome. All right, let's get the screen. Read this for the 1000th time. Risk disclosure statement. There's a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. The risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance of software strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of the deployment and hold Scalpel Sunni Trader LLC and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without reservation. Please trade responsibly. And then please read this. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so I was scrambling. Sorry for the late start. I put the wrong time zone in, and I was scrambling to switch all my products to September. So if you guys have not switch to September because of the roll. The roll is real. The roll is here. It's a pain in the ass, but it's here. And you can see it's split too. So this should be. I still kept my other products up. Just to see if there's anything firing off in the June, but I do not like roll days. Again, the volume's split. Thresholds are obviously going to be off, so just tread lightly today if you're not seeing full thresholds. And then also with Bookmap, every time you open up a new window, then you got to go in here and redo, like, most of it'll carry over, but then you still have to go in here and change your alerts. They stay on one product, so I had to go in. It's just a big pain. And then I also just saw that I have to do this Spot Gamma Cloud Link. So we'll do that real quick and then we'll read this. So we go to Portal, Bookmap Cloud Notes, copy. Notes, Cloud Notes. Okay. That works. Of course not. Let me guess he didn't update the, anyone else having problems with that? I don't think he updated the role. Anyone? Anyone using them? Let me know if it's just me, because if not, I'll email him. Said what, that he hasn't rolled them? Oh, they were having problems? Okay. All right, so then the other, what's the other option? It's to go to the, over here, I think. This is really like convoluted. Like, I don't know why he has this all the way down here. You should have this front and center up here. But anyway, go down here and you can see here's your levels. But I just don't know if this is, he has this as September or June is the issue here. Well, that's not very helpful. Let's see what he says in the, checking the Bookmap room. No, there's nothing in there, and they yell at you if you ask anything about the regular Spot Gamma. So, Jay-Z, do you know if these levels are the September? Because you can easily just mark them on your chart. All right, that's not helpful. All right, good. All right, let's take some of these, look at some of these markets. This one's the most surprising to me. We did get long this in the afternoon. Hopefully I was posting a bunch of stuff. Hopefully you guys hopped on here. I, of course, did my usual, hold it into the, held it overnight. And I actually stopped out of break even. I'll show you this here. This shows as a loser, but this was break even because I got in. It's just showing because the Globex session just starts a new P&L type thing. But we got long. So the way I read this, and I mean, it still worked, but I was shocked. That's why I held it. I'm shocked this thing did not rip. So we had this, we had failed breakdown to the high volume node. We got the volume we were looking for, built more balance. Looked like this was going to go, and it just did that. So I actually overnight, at least I had my I had my target at, I had 4 on, I was going to get out of 2 at the red lug up here. I actually even went a couple ticks below. I had it at 77 or 76 below this. It was like at 80-ish. Well, now it looks, of course, it looks different, but either way, I wouldn't have got filled. You can see it barely came up here. And then I did not get filled on anything. And then I had my stop 10 ticks below the yellow lug. So I got stopped out here instead of that, which is good, but that sucked. I thought for sure this would do that, build new lugs, do that. That's why you come up with a thesis and then you trade what you see, right? If something happened and now we are below the red lug. I'm surprised this hasn't drawn new lugs yet. I'm gonna refresh it even though we were told not to because I don't know why this would not. Yeah, see, it's still not working. I'll let her know. So I just hit Control Insert and it worked. But anyway, now we have these new lugs, baby lug, I call it. We got those. But you can see the confluence of these two. I don't, this market is just ridiculous. Like, I don't know why it's not breaking out one way or another for months, but it's not. So you just got to trade what you see. So you gotta favor shorts now. What this looks like is happening here, it looks like it's just making one big balance, right? But you have to favor shorts. This had its chance and it did not happen. And where do we hold? Remember I said, same exact spot. I should have been a little more cognizant. Again, I was blinded by this failed breakdown and I thought this was just old news right through here, but this is exactly where we stopped. Here, gone. Had its chance to get above this guy and didn't. Now you gotta favor shorts and gold. So that sucked. I thought I was gonna wake up to a monster winner there. And actually my other accounts, one of them CQG, and I get like I'll get like an alert on my phone, and I like woke up and I looked at it and I just saw 80 something, like the last 2 digits, and I thought I got filled at my target, and it was actually my stop out. So that was not good. All right, let's look at these equities. So first of all, spot gamma's, well, I wish we knew what this level was. That would be kind of nice, but he says here, support at 42.25, resistance at 42.53, large combo strike, 42.50 line is our call wall resistance. So he says here, resistance to minimum, skewness to the right side today, it implies heavier upside resistance. So that's interesting. That resistance, it seems the bulk of the option interest in OI shifted up from 4,200 to 42.25, which aligns with some of the large OI changes we saw a day or 2 ago. The amount of gamma expiring for tonight also increased, which this is interesting as well. You always got to pay attention to this because he's usually right on when he says that stuff. I'll start next week, not today, of course, which is fine because I don't even know how well these signals are going to work in equities with the roll for my SI indicator stuff. Finally, there's something to mark for next week. The shape of gamma distribution, equity on models, change significantly, models shown at flat whatever the heck that is. I've never seen that word in my life. The real peak is 42. I mean, I've never seen this word in my entire life. It looks like a medical term. Sharp traffic. So this is interesting. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll have the right levels up on Monday. That'd be nice. All right. So I mean, you still gotta. I know you said upside resistance. You gotta, until something changes here, you gotta favor the upside. We get something like this today. We tried. Looked like it was going to fail. Held the high volume node as usual. But more balance. You gotta favor that until it could pull back. Just remember the areas that it could pull back to and still remain. You know, this is far enough away from this, the top of this too, where you're not going to be standing in front of, you know, a ton of pubes. It's not like it's right on top of this, but that can happen. I can come all the way down to here. And that's that 42.25 level-ish on SPX, which is pretty close to this. Those are the two levels that you could be looking on sell-offs to buy. If that's violated, then you can play shorts, at least down to this guy. Remember what gold looked like, how it respected the prior one, so I would expect one of those as well. So if it gets through both of these, then it could finally sell off. Yeah, right. 5 minute. Balance, conviction, balance. Where are we stalling? So it's either going to do that and rip, or it's going to probably do that, and then probably down to this guy here, just overnight. But you can see what else is here that's important, even if we're not really paying attention to the overnight stuff. What do you guys see here that is going to be very worthwhile when we come down there? And that's that same area we talked about with the balance stuff. Directional conviction, exactly. That's important, very important, especially first test. There's something happened here that caused that, right? You can bet when we come down here, there's going to be some kind of reaction. If there's not, that's more information, right? So pay attention to that's that 42.20 area that we just talked about. So if this can't get above here, this may be a quick trip to 42.20, and I would definitely look to be taking profits down there. Let's take a look at the lugs. Market profile first. And these are pretty staggered. I don't see 50% of this guy in this one, so we'll leave it. There's obviously not 50% of this guy in this one, so we'll leave that too. I can't even see my, oh, did it? Yeah, of course. That's another thing. I had to go through all these Sierra charts and change the month, and then it knocks out your, knocks out my composite profiles. So I got to go back and do that. It's fun. I love the roll. Roll's really, really fun. All right, so lugs. You can see prior, new yellow. What are we going to do here? Are we going to rip through or fail? If we get through there, it's that 20 level here, and so we'll see. Let's see what happens. It's basically just sitting here. So you got to favor upside until something happens. Like if something comes in at the open, which is in 1 minute, I'm more interested in shorting once it gets through this stuff. I'd be careful buying just that overnight balance here, right? You want to be careful buying at this high volume node. Why? Because you're directly below this balance. It's probably going to rip right through and come here, or it's going to do that. One of the two.
Nice sell 150.
We can look at crude dip. Algo guy.
Nice buy 150.
Holding bullish right now, but it can pull below easily, which it's trying to do. See, this could easily pull that blue below there. Keep an eye on that. All right. Nasdaq. It's not the other name yet.
NQI's 150 sell.
This was that move down yesterday. I actually called that in the Bookmap webinar, and then I didn't take the trade because I was jumping from screen to screen, and it was a quick 140-point winner that you could have used. So anyway, we got balance up here. What's going to happen here? We're going to break down. If we do break down, watch. Oops. You can see where we're struggling. Whoops, didn't want to do it like that. We're struggling where this directional conviction started. Having a hard time getting through there. But you got tail.
NQI's 151 sell.
You got to favor the longs until otherwise. Let's see those bugs struggling at the yellow. See what's going on here. Need to get this hero off for now. Oh, this is because of the roll. This is going to be a big pain in the ass today. Pardon my language. Yeah, so you can see it here. So this is threshold. And you got to remember, this is actually
150.
obviously bigger volume because it's split between contracts. So this is much more than 150. I mean, between the two products, as far as what's firing in, I'm assuming. Maybe. I mean, I don't know if it's much bigger. Maybe just, you know, some papers just trading exclusively in June, but just note this area. 5 minute. This is all day trade yesterday. This is where directional conviction started to right where we're at now, which is confluent with the high volume now. So if this can get through here, you may get a move down to where that directional conviction started yesterday. If this holds, look for that. You got to play the long until it breaks. But you got to play for, you got to be bullish is what I'm saying. Oh, they got a new feature on this drawing tool, by the way. If you put single figure mode, and then once you draw something, it'll revert, it'll get you off of this pencil, dude, instead of having to come back and click this every time. That's the greatest improvements so far. They're getting there. At least they're focusing on it now. So first of all, let's look at how far we need these trades to go from the zone to consider them valid, invalid. Remember, we were going with 10 points, but the better idea, more scientific, is use the ATR. You can either use the ATR or the 5 minute. You got to be careful with this though, because if you get big moves like yesterday, this ATR was extremely elevated until it settled down. The ATR right now, right about what we talk about, right? There's 9. You see it right here. So 10 points isn't bad there. The more consistent metric is 20% of the ATR of the hourly. So there you go. We got 45. So that's 9 as well. So you can go 9. I'll just go 10 points.
We nice 150 to sell.
So you see how accurate that actually is, that number, that 10 points.
True nice 5151.
This is freezing on me. All right, you see we did go 10 points above here. So if this gets out, I'm going to give this a shot. The problem is, again, I'm on, I guess I could just trade June for this setup. I don't like questioning stuff I'm seeing. That's the It's the last thing you need to be doing when you're trading. And you gotta, of course I missed it. I'm just gonna put on F size right now. I don't, again, I don't like wondering if the volume is legit. So I missed the entry there. It should have been about 5 points above the zone for the entries. Half the, what we risk, or half of the 10 points that we talk about. So I should have been on a 62, missed it by a couple points. My stop will go 10 points below here. Again, this is the June contract. If you don't want to trade today, I don't blame you. Again, you got to have conviction in what you're seeing, and I'm questioning the volume. And there's this, I mean, this is obviously, this is threshold just alone on a normal day, right? So it's got to be more than this spread between the markets. So it is what it is. Feels like a trap, but I got my signal, and you've got to stay long until this breaks. So, you know, this is kind of a sampler trade. I got a half size. If this breaks, then I'll go short. I'll look for shorts, at least temporarily. You got to play this for that until proven otherwise. And I got the signal. One thing I did not look at, here's that little guy that looks trying to be bullish on me. Just trying to pull the blue above, but I did not look at our lugs. And of course, we're below the yellow lug. See, this is SEP is the problem. See, this is what I'm talking about. I should not even be trading the equities today. So I don't even, anyone have the lugs up for, I don't even know if they're accurate because she sent me an email last night that she rolled them. Do anyone have the lugs up for, I'm assuming they're the same or pretty close for June. All right, so I have a feeling this is going to be a loser, but wouldn't be a day if I didn't start my loser in Nasdaq. That's June. Yeah, we're below there. Thanks. Thank you. The problem is I don't know how accurate are. She does something obviously to roll. I don't know. Again, so the last thing you want to be doing is questioning things. Trading is hard enough that you need to, if I start questioning stuff, that's just not what I want to do. So I will be trading very lightly in the equities today. Maybe we'll get some, maybe we'll get a free fall in gold. That's what I'm looking for after that embarrassing effort last night. This was threshold here. This was a stop run. You had another one down here. So that was a stop and hold for a second, and then another one fired up. What am I doing here? Down here. That wasn't very large, but that caused that. So you would say you did get short on this one. Well, this would never really move. Again, stop runs don't have a tendency to retest as much. So if you did get short there and then you saw that and you said, okay, that's a dumb and dumber, then you're out, right? You wait for, you get out if you see another setup against you. This was bearish, it held, and then you saw that, that's bullish, you get out and wait for your next signal. You don't just hold it and hold. I didn't do anything there. I'm just giving you guys examples of that. So I'm going to just erase these zones here. See how most of the liquidity is below. Let's take a look at crude. Hey, what do you know? Looks bullish. Also, I canceled the, I still have access to it, but I canceled that news squawk. The thing's worthless, man. It's like, I've seen probably last month, 3 or 4 news stories come across. The markets drop. I mean, this dropped $1. And then they come out saying about the Iranian, whatever the reason was. I don't care what the reason was. I care about knowing there's news in something if I'm trading it before the move happens. What's the use? Like I can go and read on a newspaper or something. It doesn't matter. You need to know this stuff as it's coming out. Not it literally was like 5 minutes after the fact, 3 minutes after the fact. It's worthless, and that's like the 3rd or 4th time. So I'm not paying just to hear that dude talk. I can tell you that. So anyway, monster buying tail, very bullish. Balance about to break out. You gotta look for longs. Yeah, they're just not good. I mean, Trade the News wasn't that great either. I used to complain all the time we had it. I mean, they've been around. The same 2 dudes are on that thing that were on there back in 2003, if you could believe that. I don't know how you wouldn't burn out from that job, but they did the same thing. It would be like they're better. They're better now, but it's worthless if you don't get it before the market makes the move. Obviously, that's the point of the paying for the news service. All right, so this is extremely bullish. Just looking for a signal. I will get long. I got long here yesterday at the close. It was a nice winner. I put that in the room as well, and we've just been balancing overnight here. So remember, guys, even when news stories come out, I mean, you don't want to step in front of them, but if you know a market is very bullish, you're not thinking the world's ending. You're saying, where can I buy this thing? Is what you're doing, right? This would happen very fast.
Nice 150 to buy.
Not that you would have caught that, but up here is where I got long, and it was a nice winner into the close. So I'm just waiting for another signal, and I will go long again here. This probably will be the market of choice today, this in gold, since the equities are, you can see here, equities have the convoluted volume. There you go. I'd like to see that. I hate playing breakouts because they're so obvious, and it's like the algo's trying to screw everyone. It feels like on the breakouts, if you get one of these and then come back, maybe hit some buy ice, gone. It's been very quiet in there. Let's take a look at grains. I will look at copper and stuff too. Start following that because you guys requested it. All right. Yeah, these are in big trouble. Break it down. This is it for beans, man. If this can't hold this guy, this thing is gonna, remember we got burned on this move where all that ice came in. If this can't hold here, we're like right here. So maybe we don't have to look at equities today. That would be delightful. Let's take a look. Where is my, how's my Nasdaq trade doing? Hey, got $100. That'll pay for a round of golf at, oh, that's what short-lived. Forget it. Forget it. Yeah, this is. So who, I can't, I think it was Pike. You got to be careful in this market. Like 100 is not enough. You want to see at least 200, at least 200. I don't know if he's on here right now, but he was putting some yesterday, some stop runs and icebergs and stuff. Like at 100, it's not enough. I see the threshold, I believe, I don't have my thing up to at least 150, 175, but you want to see at least over 200. I've seen 300 consistently in beans. So I would not pay attention to hundreds is what I'm saying. Wheat's a little less. So wheat is like the Russell of grains. So this is actually a decent, this is 150. This you can draw in. feeling I have the wrong color from my, it's looking like that. Let's see here. Yep. Every time I save this, it just reverts right back to the same thing. I use black and white just because there's so many colors on this chart. Colorblind on top of it. Let's change this. So this is how this is their great enhancement here so far. So you go like this. Let's see. It's actually after you draw a zone. I don't think it'll do it on the color change, but I'll show you in a second. So if I go in here and I draw a line, see, because you got to keep coming back to this to get off of there to move the chart around. So if I draw a line, see how that takes it off. That's the big enhancement so far. This is still annoying. You hit enter edit mode and then you have to hit edit again. I don't understand that either. All right, enough of me complaining today. Nothing but complaints. All right, so looking for longs in crude, shorts in gold, definitely pretty close to Armageddon and wheat in the grains here. Let's take a look at what they look like on the lugs. So of course, it's not drawn a new one yet. All right, I gotta talk to her. This is right back to what it was. I just had to hit Control Insert to get the new ones drawn. And I have the new version and I deleted my old files. We did all that the other day. So anyway, if we break that ice, that's also breaking below this yellow. That could be a very nice trade. That's what you want to see, right? Structure with the lugs, with the volume equals a high percentage trade. This looks pretty scary for anyone who's long. We've talked about this, right? We had this breakdown. It looked like a failed breakdown. It should have been a failed breakdown. It should have done that. We've talked about this. And then it just built more balance. Why? Why didn't it do that? Now we're here again, balance, tried to get back to the upside, held high volume node, more balance. Now we're getting below all of this. I don't think that little dude's going to hold this up as all these longs puke out there. This wheat's in trouble. We get below that ice, I will take that short. If this turns out to be a bullish signal, which it's trying to, then just wait. Keep an eye on that. There's nothing in beans yet either. I mean, there is something in wheat, but nothing in beans. Let's look at the looks here. Right at the blue. And beans look even worse than almost as worse. Yeah, this is it. You can just make this one big one, pretty much. This is it, man. You can see the volume picking up. Do that. I mean, I know it's the open, so you do get the spikes on the open, but this is in a great area to trade. But why do you not want to buy this right here off of this? Why would you not want to go long off this HVN? Anyone? Every single person here that's been in here should answer this question immediately. I can't believe Epic G is typing when teacher's pet. How about someone other than the teacher's pet? Yes, that's actually not as clear. Anybody else? Strong hands, same thing. Anybody else tell me why you don't want to buy at this high volume node of this guy? Exactly. Why would you buy this dude with that. It could, but your odds of this happening, the odds of this happening are much greater than that happening, right? If it does hold, then you look for areas to short up here. But again, you got this puke. If this gets through this, then you got guys that have been long from down here that are like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. This is going to be a huge trade today, I think. So keep a very close eye on that. Who needs equities? And we're at the blue lug. You can even see this cumulative volume as well.
So it'd be nice.
There we go, right on cue. Right on cue. What we got? What do we got? Here it is. They did the same. This is the same thing they did. But be careful here, unless this can get below here. This is what they did that day that we got smoke when it looked like it was going to zero. They put in like 800 buy ice. It was like 200, 200, 200, 200, and then they turn around and rip 30 cents in 5 minutes. So you see what I mean? Like you don't want to be going off 100. This is already 250 and counting. And I don't know if they're going to hold it up this time. It's still coming in though. I would probably wait just because you see buy ice coming in. I would wait for a move away retest because you don't want to see a move away and more ice come in because that's exactly what happened that day. All right, so they're done. They're done with their attempted hold. I'll show you what I mean here in a second by that. So what I meant by that is there's two ways to play this zone. As we know, you can play it aggressively, first break, usually about a 1.5 below. You can that would be a short first break, or you can wait for a move about 3 cents below. We'll look at the ATR as well. Retest, fail. Why I recommend that is because you don't want this to start to break and then see more ice come in. That's exactly what happened that day. And then it broke more and more ice came in. It broke a little more and more ice came in, and then it went like that. So that's what you have to be wary of. So if you see this break down away and you don't see the ice come in, it's going to be a great retest fail trade if nothing comes in. So this is the #1 market now that we're watching. I'm watching. What is that Nasdaq trade working? I might not even have to call it that today. That's crazy. That is just crazy. Oh, I guess, yeah, that's what you can do with the levels. Just use the, there you go. Just use these to kind of judge, right? And set. I figured these would be, I didn't think I still had these on my chart. So just use these for today. He's obviously referring to these levels in this thing. So this is the where he said there's going to be a lot of resistance. But you see what's up here. So you all know where we're going. Paper needs to get their fill before we break. All right, I cannot lose sight of this market. I do not want to miss this trade. Check something here. All right, so let me keep that right there so I don't miss it. But Nasdaq is held here. You can see how tight this daily value area was. So VWAP, and then how tight that is. But anyway, we did not break down below the yellow. That should tell you something. I mean, we tried and it just held, and now we're getting back above. So we're probably going to do that. Again, you got to favor longs until proven otherwise. We did not look at the profile. Oh yeah. Oh no, what did I just do there? I draw all my composites again. Pain. Can't draw them for these. Actually, I think this was one here, right? Yeah, this one was. This was a 2-day composite here. You see yesterday how we bounced right off the. Pretty close to there, pretty close to the point of control. Came back, held the point of control, gone. That's what you got to favor until something changes. Beans hanging by a thread. You can see the sellers keep coming in here. Cumulative volume, almost negative 4,000. Let's look at the profile. These are still intact. So you see we're into this next profile, composite. And we're kind of accepting in here. What happens when the market accepts? It tends to go to the other side. That'll be a nice, almost 20% trade. I think it'll do even more than that, but. So we couldn't hold, we open up, can't hold this more recent one, right? Right through it. And now we're in this. And we know the structure is favoring that. We know the lugs are about to break. And then you use your real-time volume to confirm a bearish setup, and then you take the trade. The only question mark is, do you want to be aggressive on this breaks, go about 1.5 points below? Do you take short on first break, or do you wait for one of these? The problem is there's so much. This is an area where you can just see one of these, right? So you got to decide how you want to trade it. I will wait for a retest probably, again, just like I said, because I don't feel like getting smoked like I did here. This is on the webinar. It looked like this thing was going to zero. There was nothing here. And there was a couple bullish or bearish signals, and all of a sudden it started to break down, and it was 200, 200, 200, 200, gone. So that's why I will probably wait for a retest there, unless I see like some stop run or something right after that, and then I'll jump in. All right, see if there's any questions in here. I thought you said a straight convictional move and a whole balance is a good place for reversal trade. I did. We just talked. Are you talking about beans, JZ? Right. Did you just not hear? Do you need to get a verbal lashing? Why is this not as important? Do I need to have the teacher's pet tell you why this is not a great buy right here? Like say like yesterday, the move, like the gold move. Right. So let's look at it. What's the difference between that HVN, directional move in HVN, and this one here? Well, that one we got through. So we got through this one, but this, you can use this as an example here. But that's not a good example either, because you would think that there'd be puking for that. That's why I stayed long overnight, because I thought this. But anyway, this is a straight directional move into that, right? There's no balance there. There was one, what was the other one? Oh, and Nasdaq yesterday. This was a great one, and this is what I talked about on the webinar, and this is why I was showing all this stuff and I missed the trade, why that was a great short, and then I didn't put on the short. I just don't want to miss this beat trade if it breaks below here. But tell me the difference of this. Let's see when that happened. I think this one was very, very slow today. So yesterday, this is exactly what I was talking about on the webinar. You got this monster. Okay, actually, you can go a little higher here. And we did this. So this was far enough away for, and plus it was just this, I mean, you can make this one big balance, but in my opinion, we were far enough away. And this is not anywhere near what this is, right? So yeah, you're going to get some puking. And I thought that was a good place to take a shot at a short. And you got a quick 150 point move down, right? That is a different look than this. Look at this mammoth here. Do you really want to be buying the HVN of this guy with all these dudes that are long that are going to be puking? That's a different look than if we were like up here and we had a straight directional move into this, then yeah, right? Not that this can't hold, but the odds of this holding are very, it's not like a normal move where again, if balance was way up here and it moved all the way down there, then you can expect that. This is directly below this 2-week balance. What are all these farmers that are long? It's not all farmers, but they will be puking. I'm not going to rely on this guy to hold up this puke. It could, and if it does, then you still got to favor shorts, right? Then you can look for shorts and return to the bottom. We just talked about this, or return to the HVN that way. But I think this is going to happen. And I think it's going to happen today. But you don't play that bounce. Again, it could bounce. Your odds are very low that this is going to do this, hold at HVN and do that. It could, but I don't like that trade. Here we go. Liquidity below too. I didn't see that. Oh yeah, there it is. Staring me in the face. There you go. There's another factor in your favor, right? You got that. You even got some lighter liquidity too, but we're going right to that. Is my guess. And you just wait. That's why you have such an extraordinary edge using this volume and understanding it and not just jumping in a short right here. You're waiting, right? You know right now paper is defending this area and it's holding. So this could do that right now. And you're like, okay, then I'm not in. If guys that are short right here thinking it's going to zero because it looks so poor, they're short right now and they're like, why is this not breaking? Well, they don't know why it's not breaking because paper is trying to hold it up. And then they get smoked if this holds. You, as the astute, informed trader you are, know, okay, I know that's happening. I'm not shorting yet, but if this breaks and that's broken ice, then I'm gonna get short. Oh, and I also know all this liquidity is down there. I think the bar chart peeps know that there's liquidity down there. I sure don't. That's why you have such an edge over them. What's going on in my Nasdaq? Natural gas. I'll look at copper here in a second. Nice. Got a round at TPC right now. Now a couple beers. Go a little higher. Lunch. Keep going. Good trade. I really hope crude something fires off so I don't miss. I don't want this to run without me. Just nothing in here yet today. You see this iceberg. So again, I don't pay attention to, I pay attention to it, but that's not a market moving. Even though you see 344, this has been this iceberg's been in here this whole time getting pieced into. That's not a market stopping event, right? Like that just be like someone just keeps throwing in 10 lots like across the board. It doesn't, and say they got 1,000 to get off. Well, 110 lots over, it's not going to stop the market. You want to see like specific concentrated areas. That's what stops the market. So just be careful when you look at this and you're like, wow, there's 344 buy ice here. I want to buy. Yeah, but it's spread out over this whole period. That doesn't, I want to see concentrated volume that stops it. That's basically here. But it's still good to see. It's good to see the houses. So I guess it started here, right? Chased it up, still coming in. Yeah, he's about to get a mouthful, would be my guess. It'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to participate in, actually. Oh, all right. Any questions, comments, concerns? I'll go guy for gold looks very bearish too. Just tucking the blue. First signal, short signal there, I'm in. I cannot believe this thing didn't break last night. Cannot believe it. Like this is the most confident trade I've had on overnight in a long time. I'm like, okay, boom, more balance. I saw it ripping. I'm like, okay, good night. I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be up here. No, of course not. But I let the lugs help me avoid giving back or taking a loss. I basically scratched a trade from yesterday afternoon because once it got below that yellow lug, I had my stop 10 ticks below here. Got stopped out and then did that. We just needed to break that. So we got that at the bottom lug. We got beans at the bottom lug. We've got wheat's at the yellow, right? Yeah, wheat's at the yellow, but it already pierced its prior bottom lug. Get below there, probably go on there too. That's some sweet volume. I know we're split, but look at that. that would signify split, 50%. Horrible. This is algo heaven. So knowing that, you should probably lay off equities today. You got enough going on in these other markets if they start moving. Let's look at we'll look at beans because it's about to fall apart. All right, I'm going to get, again, remember it's not all or nothing, so I'm going to get in half size here. So if this now moves 3 cents below here, just real close to retest, my mouth is watering for a retest now, and we don't see anything coming in. Retest, fail, boom, buy. Oh, actually, let's look at the ATR to be a little more. So you can go 20% of the hourly, 13 and a half, so it's like 2.7. So that's right on. Pretty close to the 3 cents standard. 5 minute is 3.5 points, or 3.5 cents. So you can go 3.5 if you want. I'll just stick with the 3. Here we are. That's 3 cents below this zone now. Please come back for me. This is telling though, right? They're not coming in. Thank you, Epic. Come on, you know you guys need to get out, so get it back up here so you can bail out of your longs that are wrong, then go to market and then make that happen. not gonna do it, is it? At least I put on half size. I should have been more aggressive there, but that's fine. Especially that I didn't see this stuff coming in. I should have just put in, I didn't see any more ice coming in. I should have just put in full size, right? This thing might seriously just straight beeline right to 15. So we've got everything going for this short, right? Knowing your structure stuff, you're like, okay, this is in huge trouble. We're break down to this. We got to the high volume node of this, right? Pretty close, it's there. Then you go to your, we didn't even look at algo guy. Let's look at algo guy too. Is algo guy? Sure, it's negative. Just don't understand why these charts do this all the time. Where is this market? Why is my algo guy not working? No idea where algo guy is. There it is. Yeah, that doesn't look very positive. So I would love, right? These markets have a tendency because the algos are set to retrace. A retrace would be right back into that ice, then boom. If we should be so lucky. So you got that in your favor. All four things that we look at are in our favor. Structure, market profile, right? We already talked about market profile. I'll show you quickly again. Extremely negative as far as what should happen, what normally happens. We failed right outside of this just to open the day, and then we got in here. The tendency now, once you accept in the new one, is to go to the bottom. That's negative, so that's number 3. I'm sorry, that's number 2. Number 3, we're below piercing the blue lug, and you got some, you can see all this heavy selling coming in. That's number 3, and then number 4 is our real-time volume setup. You got all 4 check marks. So even if the trade doesn't work, it is what it is. If you take 10 of these trades, I will say 8 or 9 of them will work for you with all 4 things aligned. That's trading. You get yourself aligned. You know your risk, right? So my risk is going to be 3 cents above this zone. I'm going to go 24.50. There you go. Then you wait for the big move. If for some reason this thing starts to free fall and I see big buys come in and it holds, I will get out of the trade. I'm not just going to ignore ICE because I want it to go down to 15 or lower. I will get out and then I'll wait for a retail, I'll move back up, wait for something bearish again, and then get back in. So you're technically, you are scalping, but you're not scalping like to scalp. You're scalping based on what you're seeing in the market, right? Or it could just do this and never get one signal and free fall 30 cents, which happens all the time in this market. Like yesterday. I mean, yesterday was a great report, but the thing dropped like 40 cents or something, and there wasn't one signal. So if you were short, you would have held that thing the entire time. You guys still awake? Very exciting. Look at the Nasdaq. Look at my Nasdaq trade. Rolling with the 2 lot. Where's the blue lug on this guy? Way up here. Baby lug is at 14,000. 30 points away. So I will watch that area, and you can see that's a, I will get out of one of these, half of these, half of my whopping 2 lot up here at, we know that's the baby lug, and then that's also a spot gamma level. So if this gets up here and I start to see red, I will cover one of them. If this goes blue, 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 I'll hold on to it. Because why do you want to sell if nobody else is selling? Waiting for gold to puke. We're not going to get the retest, are we? Sure not. It's quite wimpish on my part. There's going to be a puke here. I mean, it's just like a slow, like grind, and then you're just going to see a whoosh, would be my guess. Oh, why didn't I put on full size? I had my reasons, but I also knew, again, you have all four things in your favor, and then I knew when this started moving down and nothing was coming in, and there was a little bit of absorption here. I should have stepped on the gas, but it's all right. Well, the goal is now too, right? If this thing starts rolling, we get new signals, right? Then we add, then we can trail or stop. That's the goal. And then you add, trail or stop, add, trail or stop. You catch a 30-cent move with 4 positions on, you make your month. That's the goal of trading, is try to catch these moves. Not try to catch this stuff all day long, catch every move back and forth. You will not succeed doing that. I know I never say that. Andy says, I usually hear traders say, wait out the first 30 minutes after they open before they trade to wait for things to settle down. But here I feel like, right, again, traders, well, most traders don't have the information we have, right? They don't understand what's happening. The markets are crazy. But when you can see the volume and you know the setups, you can trade any time of the day. It doesn't matter. Just, you guys, all these adages in trading are all based on not having all the information, right? Like we've talked about this so many times, like trading, you know, the one dude, he's not in here anymore, Daniel guy, that one time he got out of his trade, I'm like, well, why'd you get out of there? Get out there. He was like, he was short or he was long or something. And he's like, I saw a lower high. Okay, yeah, that is technically okay, but there's lower highs all the time. And then the market does that and you get algo. Guys that don't have anything else to hold on to, that don't have all the information, you have to use stuff like that, right? Or Bollinger Bands or stuff like that. Or I'm going to sit out the opening because I can't make sense of what's going on a bar chart because this is what it looks like, right? Looks like a chop fest. If you have all of the information, you have the volume. So you don't need to sit on anything. You watch what the volume's the same at the open. The setups are the same at the open as they would be, you know, at the close or in the middle of the day. That's what I'm trying to get through to you guys and what an edge you have if you learn how to apply this stuff. You have everything you need to make it. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand why all these adages are out there? You can't be listening to most of that stuff because these are guys that trade that don't have all the information. And then you also think, well, guess what? 95% of traders fail, so I probably don't want to listen to that information. There's relevance in lower highs and higher lows and stuff like that, but you can take note of it, kind of just like the tick, right? Like I don't put trades on just because of the tick. I watch it and I'm like, okay, that's telling me something. I'll watch a market and say that was a lower high. I don't get out of my trade because of it. I'll note it, and then if I see something else to help me get out, just like we were talking about the check marks. Okay, that's 2 check marks against this trade or whatever. But that is not a reason enough to get out. There's lower highs and higher lows all the time in the market, and just whipsaw chop. Here's NQ. This is SEP. Again, point this out. I wonder where we're going. And you have that too. And you know you know the game with the magnet liquidity. I mean, you guys have so much information you just don't understand versus everybody else. And that's the whole goal of trading, right? You're trying to take other people's money, whether you want to accept it or not. That's what trading is. It's a zero-sum game besides commissions. You're trying to take less informed traders' money, and they're trying to take your money, as the algos are. And if you think this is anything different than that, you're sadly mistaken. And this thing is not even gonna make one
So it'd
attempt.
be nice.
All right, here we go. Oh, sell ice. Now we're talking. Now this is gonna be a chance. I'd like to see more than this, but I'll still play off of it. We already got 150. Now, if I will be able to trail my stop down and add if this breaks or if this holds, this will be a Titanic setup. You see it's still coming in. Let's get this start to draw. This could be a month making trade, guys. So that went all the way up to here. Still coming in right now. Get this. All right, done. It's done. There we go. That came in here-ish. There you go. So now you can go 3 cents above this zone to stop out. If this turns into broken ice, you're out of the trade for now. Say 1350, so we'll go 1650. There you go. You just eliminated 8 cents of almost 9 cents of risk based on, not because I don't want to lose my P&L, my 650 back, because there's a new setup. Now, what I'm probably going to do here is I will aggressively trade this on the break because it's not buy ice anymore. You see the difference from the last time when we got smoked? Now it's sell ice. So I'm going to get in. I'll do half again, and then I'll wait for it because this will probably retest, but I'll just do half again. And then if it does fail your retest, then I'll get in full size. I'll be consistent with this trade, so I can complain too as it free falls. So 0.5 is 1050. That's where I will aggressively enter. So then it'll either do this, or I want to see 3 points, 3 cents, retest, fail. As soon as it fails, a 1.5 below the zone, then I'll add. Either way, this is now basically a scratch trade. If this turns into a bullish setup right now, and that's fine. And then I'll wait for it to come back here, and I will play a retest of this zone. If this breaks and this comes all the way back here, I will get short again on that. I'll stop out here, and then I'll see if it does this, because it could just do that too. Not very likely, but it could. Is this making sense? Do you guys understand why you do this and how you control your risk and when you add, and you're not stopping out because of your P&L? You should, again, if you struggle with this, just turn it off. Just turn it off. Play structure. You don't need to stare at your P&L. All right, so I'm in a full position now, but if this, I want to see if this moves 3 points away, 3 cents away, retest and fails, and I'll put on another 3. So that only got 2 cents below there, so far. All right, this is, I don't know why this didn't read it off. Oh, it's only 148, but this is close enough in crude. This could be a Dumb and Dumber. And you can see on this chart it's showing 219 because remember the stop icebergs on chart is set to the new algorithm. So that's why this is a lot of time, most times it's gonna be less than this, but this is definitely, this could be a dumb and dumber for a long entry in croon. I think I'm just from now on I'm just gonna stay consistent, and aggressive trade will always be half size. I'll always get in, but it will be with half size. And then if it retests, fails, then I'll get in the full position. I'm just gonna be, I gotta be consistent. That's not good trading, not being consistent with that stuff. Let's look at our ATR crude. It's 12 for the 5 minute, so 12 ticks. Hourly. It's 47, so that's 20% of that's 9 point something, so we can say 10. So 10 and 12 ticks. And newer guys on here, newer traders, you can get my Thinkorswim workspace. It's in the pinned messages. It's also in the resources. You can download it. Just beware, there's about 45 charts in there, but you can get Algo Guy and everything that I look at if you have Thinkorswim, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's free, pretty much. If you're paying for charting, you're just throwing away your money. Threshold, I think I have at 150. I mean, this thing, you gotta be kidding me, man. There's just no retest ever. I mean, I can't complain, but I'm complaining. What an orderly sell-off. Hold on, I'll try to find my thresholds. I believe it's 150. Again, I like to see over 200 usually, so. Goodness gracious, man. I should have 2 full positions. I should have 12. I should have double the size on here if I had. But I said I'm going to follow my rules. I'm only putting on half position on aggressive entries. This still could pull back. Please pull back. I know that's being greedy, asking for pullbacks. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I'm happy, but I'm not. Look at this thing. This is exactly what we call, guys. Let's see some areas where we may cover some of these. Hope you guys are on this trade. I mean, it couldn't have been any easier. Like, no heat whatsoever. We said it was a 4-star trade. We'll start saying 3 stars, 4 stars. I like that. 4-star trade. See how we're coming close to the bottom of this. So I will cover half of these if it struggles down here around the bottom of this profile. So it's this we just showed you. Remember I said the tendency for markets once it gets into composite value area is to go to the other side, and we're almost at the other side. So 1503.04-ish, if it struggles, meaning if I start seeing blue bubbles, I will cover half of them. It doesn't mean you can't wait for retest of some of those areas if nothing new comes in and re-enter, right? So kind of like you're scalping, but you're not scalping. All right, of course, I did control insert for the new levels. I will let her know. She's out of town, but I'll let her know. As you can see, the new yellow just drew. It's way up there. 13. I can see a retest here. The question is, how many of you are going to follow your rules and not start to get out because you see that and because you don't want to lose that? You have to condition yourself not to be getting out on your, like I was shocked it just did that, let alone it should have been doing it more up, up here. But you've got to condition yourself where you're not getting out just because you see some buying come in. That's how markets trade. As long as areas aren't violated, you're already insulated for no loss right now, right? So who cares? If this happened to do that, fine. You scratch a trade, you wait for another opportunity. If you get out on these blips, you're going to cost yourself a potential 50-cent trade, right? You got to condition yourself to stay in the trade. I want to know how many you just covered, if you're in this, how many you just covered right there because you were afraid it was going to pop all the way back. I will bet half of you guys did that. Be honest. Good. Good boys. And girls. Did this go? No, so this is going to be, this is a Dumb and Dumber in crude. So I'm going to enter in aggressively just half size again, because that's going to be my new, I'm going to do it every time. This did not get 10 ticks above the zone. Remember, stop runs don't always, it kind of defeats the idea of a Dumb and Dumber, right? Dumb and Dumber is like, there's no follow through on the stop run and then gone, right? So you're not out, crude's a different story. Crude usually will go with the 10 ticks and retest because that's what it does all day long. But just remember, I listed the order the other day of potential retest, and Dumb and Dumbers are the least likely to retest, and it just fits the mold of the setup, right? Because it's a stop run. We only got, let's see, that was at 62, got down to 54. We said 10 to 12 ticks, right? So it never got below here, so this is still a Dumb and Dumber. So my stop will go, I'm gonna go 12 ticks below there because of the ATR. So that's 50. And there you go. All right, here's the retest. It couldn't just touch 04. So it's like, I sit here complaining, wanting a retest this whole time, and then it does this, and it's like, okay, then just touch like 04-ish, and so I can get out of some. Nope, now it'll retest. Oh, goodness. I will add the other 3 if this comes up here into this zone. Selling comes in, 0.5 below, 10.5, where I got in the first time. I will add the other 3 and play for that. If it does this, then I basically scratch, break even, and wait for another setup. Just because markets are set up for a certain way doesn't mean it has to happen right this second, right? That's what you got to get through your head too. Like it could play this game for a while. This could certainly do this, stop it out. It doesn't mean that something new won't come in and then it will finally do it. It doesn't mean this has to happen right now. It should, but it doesn't have to. It's just all about conditioning yourself and watching this enough times where you're just not like panicking out here on this, this is already almost 5 cents pullback. And again, as usual, once paper gets their fills, jerks. All right. So this is almost 10. We're gonna just use 10. We don't need to use 12 on this one. So there's your 10, there's your 12 ticks. So if this retests now, fails, 5 ticks above the zone, I will get in the other half. And again, anything new comes in, then we'll be able to trail or stop and add. All right, so we're pulling back to that yellow lug. This should also give you confidence to stay in the trades too. So you got to be saying to yourself, not that if this rips above the yellow, I'm not getting out of the trade, right? I mean, I got my stop in, but this gives you confidence. Hey, we may pull back to the yellow. It should hold. It should go down to this blue, at least. All right, there's your retest. And now I am in the other three. I can find there you go. Stop goes the same spot. All right. So now if this pops up here, I'll take a small loss on 3 of them, right? But what if it doesn't? What if it does that? Which it should. Then I'm going to have a nice day. It's always awesome when your ICE or your setups are confluent with the lugs. And what else is it confluent with? The daily value or area low. So you got these algos that kick in at the standard deviations for reversion to the mean, and it's good if it holds there. So you got all these things confluent here. You got the daily value area low, you got your lug, and you got ICE. And the tendency for markets is to get to the other side of value. So the minimum here. I'd love to see this break out of here and get to here and then down to there and down to there and then go to 0. Then beans are free for everybody on the planet. I don't even get a laugh at that. I mean, seriously, guys, are you all sleeping or what? You got a winning trade on. I'm cracking awesome jokes. Nothing. Of course, the teacher's pet is listening. I don't want to miss this retest. There you go. That's better. That makes me feel better. Thanks. Nasdaq's trying to be Nasdaq. Still got a round at no. Now we're down to cold water. Cold water is a course I played yesterday. $30 skins game, $20 to play. Can't beat that. And I did not have one birdie again. It's quite pathetic, actually. What is TP? AH, what's that? What does TP mean? Oh, teacher's pet. Toilet pet. Well, he is. Every time I ask something, he answers it first and he gets it right every time. That's a pet. That's why he's my pet. We need short squeeze Chris in here to sell us 500 beans, get him moving down in here. Oh, there goes the Nasdaq. There goes my round of golf.
Fruit ICE sell 150.
They're about to be free, so anyone can have beans. There's going to be able to have beans after today when we go to 0. This is sub. There's not a ton coming through sub, so let's see if it's threshold. Then remember 04-ish, 04, 03, I will cover half of these if it stalls because that's the bottom of that profile. All right, here you go. You got threshold ICE and for this diluted market. Just couldn't have a winner in Nasdaq. Nasdaq, could I? Just couldn't happen. I'm missing beans at that area. Please tell me. Well, I'm spending half my life drawing zones. All right, there you go. Remember, you got to favor longs in these equities if you want to trade them. I mean, I don't know why you need that. If why you watch this go to zero. All right, I'm watching this carefully. If this starts blue comes in, I will not be greedy trying to get an extra cent. I will get out of I'll get out of 4 of them. How about that? Have Chris buy Bookmap. Sure, I'll love that. I think it's worth a little more than the 2 million bucks that he's made in it. How about just a flush so I don't have to worry about getting out of this? How about that? Actually, Coach Ted, is he in here? Are you in here, Coach Ted? He sent me a direct message the other day and said, why don't we pool money and just buy, here we go, gold, and just buy Bookmap so we can fix it. So you guys are all thinking alike. There you go. We want to get short gold. So now it would look like a slow day. Now we're gonna have like 4 different positions on. Let's see if that turns into a dumb and dumb. I'll be back there. I don't want to miss this trade or this out. All right, I'm gonna cover 4 there. I'm not being greedy for a cent or 2. This is a great move. If this flushes, remember, something new can always come in. This is just getting started, in my opinion. We get something else, then I'll put on full size and we'll trail the stop, put on full size, trail the stop. All right. That was a relatively painless trade and worked perfectly. I mean, guys, it's just over and over these same, look at that. Wow, that's so thick. You think this is an edge to have, to know this stuff? You think? Just imagine knowing that stuff and then conditioning yourself, which you guys all will, if it kills me, to actually want this to happen so you can get in instead of panicking out, right? How many traders panicked out on that move? And you're like, please come back to that zone so I can add, right? Imagine when you condition yourself for that, and then you know the setups and you condition yourself not to panic, but to add. What's going to happen in your trading career? There's nothing going through SEP and ES today, so let's see. Still in that zone. Did I miss the pullback in crude? No. That's coming back, it always does. Gold. I forgot to check my little single, what was that called? Single figure mode, whatever that means. All right, so did this get, this went 13 ticks above this zone. So let's look at our ATR for the day. See if this is invalidated as a short setup. We've got 21 on the 5 minute. I don't really want to risk 21 ticks on a trade or invalidate a zone with 21 ticks. Let's go to the hourly. Hourly is 46. So that's pretty much 9 to 10 points, right? Or 9 to 10 ticks. So 10 ticks is legit. So this is officially, I mean, based on this, how far it went, is a Dumb and Dumber. That's not a bearish setup. I'm not, if this does this, I'm not taking the trade. I'm going to wait for something new because this should not have gone that far above based on what we know. It went over the 10 ticks. So gold will be put on hold for now. This is really telling, right? I mean, you guys, I remember a couple of weeks ago, when this thing was breaking, it was just buy ice, buy ice, buy ice, buy ice, gone. Now this whole move, nothing. They tried here. How's that tasting, by the way? I even called that when that came in. I said, that's not gonna taste good, guys. You might not wanna buy there. I gotta change this stop too. Well, you know these guys are at least gonna get their fills, so we will come back down here, minimum, in my opinion, from what we know. Right? Most traders that don't even have Bookmap that don't understand it, they look at this like, oh man, there's a big bid there. I want to buy, or they want to get filled. And I don't pay attention to this that just pops in here as much as you guys know, but this has basically been in here the entire time. It's just getting a little more thicker right now. All right. Did I get stopped out of Nasdaq? Not yet. Pretty close. Well, it was nice for them to wait for me to stop me out, so I have to watch it. Oh, you jerks. There's just been nothing in this market either. I know we're convoluted, but what's wheat doing? Look at that. You want to be long. Hey, look, I can't believe the volume setup worked there. Look, retest. Oh, wow. This is, you don't see this very often.
Russell Ice.
Actually, it was this. It was this. It was that. Here's your retest. Here's your failure. 10 cents. Not that I wanted to be long that market, but it's just good to see the stuff, the volume setup
Russell
works.
Ice 150 to buy.
Let's take a look at Russell today. Of course, so wheat's gonna pull up beans. Hope some of you guys covered down there. It was not worth trying to get an extra, squeeze an extra cent out of that trade. Cent or two. This is set. What is this? What is this graph thing here? Oh, hero. Okay. So that was obviously in the June contract that Russell. Nice. That's threshold, sell ice. This black. Once again, I've been on for almost 2 hours. At least today's been more fun. Thanks to beans. All right, let's take a quick look at this. We did not cover this. So first of all, this looks like just one monster balance area. Right. There's always balance within balance, but that's just good to note that this is where it held. Right. So if we were truly bullish, this would have ripped out here. That didn't happen. this is basically, it's a balance there. You got a tail or two, but then you have balance here too. So we're gonna do that. I'd much rather go short once we can violate that. And these tails. So I'm not gonna play with it up here. If we do that and we break this stuff, then I'll look for shorts down into this area. But that was decent sell ice, especially for a split market, 172. So if you guys like the short, we'll look at lugs here in a second. That's the tendency. Means another shot at the yellow lug. I guess I have no lugs in this market. I'm an expert at this now after the other day. Newer guys, again, for the lugwood levels, you get a discount being part of this room. Go to your, go to the website. She's got a 3-day trial, put you're a member of the room, and then if you decide to subscribe, you'll get 6 markets instead of 4, and then you get grandfathered into her pricing that is changing July 1st. I think she said it's going to $200 a month. And you get that till December of 2022, which is pretty good. We're above the yellow, but you got that sell ice. Again, I'm not real interested in trading this market right here. If it breaks that ice, you can play to the upside. But remember, you have that balance of overhead that it broke down from, right? So I'm interested in longs above the high volume node or below this dude in these tails. Other than that, right here, I don't feel like being chopped up, especially today. So I'm not trading that. Yes, blue lug. I think we're still in that iceberg area, correct? What the bean's doing? Rejected off that zone again. You could add again if you want. I'm going to, I'll just let that, I'm gonna wait for something new, but you could add, especially because one, we didn't get to the bottom of that profile officially, and you got all that. You can add again. Actually, we'll put on one. How about one? Little one guy. Stop going up wheat. Don't interfere with our zero bean theory. All right, so this is still in this zone. So if this breaks out, you know it held the blue lug. You can play that to the upside. Market profile. Taz doesn't look very bullish or bearish. Bullish, I mean.
NQI's 150.
The market profile is really convoluted. There's no composite until down here. Again, I guess this is close enough. You can merge these two. Let's just see what that looks like. It's not. It was such a tight day. Let's see. Yeah, that looks all right. We'll do that. Again, I don't like using this subjective stuff. Like that's one of the reasons, like when I learned this, guys would be like cutting off profiles like halfway and tail. It's like, that just defeats the purpose, right? If it's just your interpretation of the market, that's not a, so I don't like doing this, but this was close enough. That was a tight day and this looks fine. Right. I don't know what just happened there. That's not what I wanted. There you go. And again, when you do it and then the areas match up to important levels, then you know it's right. Talked about that 10 times today. All right, Beans make another attempt at Armageddon. I can't believe it's going back to that liquidity. This is something new. I can't believe the big money is going to get their filled. Please don't tell me I missed this retest. No, no retest, but we're in this. Still could retest. It's still probably going to retest because that's what crude does. Nothing there. Gold. So Dumb and Dumber, like we said, no short. I just want to take shorts in this market right here, so I'm not going long. Let that play out. Look at the difference in these two markets between wheat and beans. Look at that. I don't see that very often. So this is actually a good sign for the short because this did this and this did nothing. So when this turns around, this will do that. Usually. And what we're doing here, structure-wise, is building balance. This is the earmark of a trending market. Build balance. I guess this is consider this balance here. Balance, trend. These are little guys. Balance, trend, balance, trend, balance, trend to zero. Free beans. Algo guy. My favorite thing that I've seen. Two different attempts to pull the blue above where you get some space. Like you see the space here, didn't happen. As soon as it gets back below, pulls the blue back and then go on. Just doing its normal retest. It's normal algo retests. This is what you want to see. Again, we don't trade just off that, but that's great to see you have the algos on your side too. All right, so if this comes down to the 03, 04 level, again, this was a good out at the time. The struggles, I will get out of two of them. I'll get out of the one guy I put on and then one more, and then I'll just let the rest run, see if we can finally get the push down. There hasn't been one signal since like an hour ago. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. I'm off here. I'm getting a little tired. So there's a big difference in ES contract ice levels between SEP and June today. It looks like big ice levels are still happening in June. Yep, discussed that. The last ES drop had 900 buy ice compared to, yep. Agreed. GC also sitting on the blue lug. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's nothing to agree about. It is, and we had a bullish. I'm not going long this market. I was long last night. That's all I need. Like what? Why? I was so confident that I was going to do it. Why? Why did it do that? Again, we could just be building balance, but it's still not a bigger balance. But this is still not an area like this in the middle of nowhere. I mean, maybe down here if you want to try along. That was a directional conviction. That was the buying tail. Shockingly held the exact same spot. I wouldn't blame you to take a shot at a long there. Here is not. No thanks. I'm not interested. It just says the algo guy, combination of EMAs. What's long and short? It's just an exponential moving average. Long. Oh yeah, you mean long term and short term? Yeah. So you can get all that stuff on my. It's a default setting in Thinkorswim. It's in my workspace. You can get it in the resources. You can download workspace. So yeah. So let me pull this up here real quick. keep forgetting there's new people in here that don't know what we're talking about. So algo guy, all this is a short-term moving average ribbon band. I'm sorry, this is the short-term, the blue short-term, the red's long-term. So the way traders play this a lot, again, I learned this from a guy that I mentored last year, and I watched it for like 8 months to even introduce it to anybody, let alone use it myself. The way he would trade it would be pullbacks into the red. And when it moved back out, then he would take a short and stop and go below there. It's just like today, just alone, just trading off this, how much you would have caught all of these, right? He may have been stopped out here, but still, that's a 30-cent trade. Just trade an algo guy. We don't trade this in a vacuum by itself, but we just use it because the algos are on your side and you got this thing in your favor. I will not miss a trade if this says this is bullish up here and the blue is above the red and I get everything else bearish or bearish setup, I still will take the short because this thing can flip on a dime, right? But it's just good to see this at your back and you see a trending market. And it cannot get above the red. It tried twice here, couldn't pull the blue above substantially, and then resumed its way down. So yeah, you just go to studies. Again, this is, you get the default with my stuff, but all studies. Right here, exponential deviation band. I think that's it. All right, guys. So just hang tough with this. My stop's in. If it rips up here, I'll stop out and I'll wait for another short opportunity. This market is in serious trouble. And again, this thing didn't rally with wheat. If wheat turns over, this is just going to make another leg down. If this breaks balance, that's another reason to get short. You get your signals. This could be a month-making day, year-making day trade on this market alone. And that's what you look for or wait for, right? Be careful on the equities. I may trade alongside of ES if it can get above here. You see more ISIS coming in. I don't even know if it's worth trading this today. You can't be like, I personally cannot be questioning stuff like volume and again, trading is hard enough than questioning if what you're seeing is correct. That's why the other day I was struggling with the new SI indicator. I'm like, is this right? Is this what you guys are seeing? I can't trade like that. I have to have conviction in what I'm looking at. So if you pass up on equities today, just go to something else. That's why you want to watch multiple markets. Crude's going to rip, in my opinion, wait for a signal. This isn't enough for me, but if I get another signal, I will add and trail my stop. Gold, I'll look for shorts. Didn't happen here, but something happens up here, I will short it. And I'm just looking, my main markets are, look at wheat here one more time where it's at, but I'm just looking for areas to add to this. This is just balancing now. So if this comes up and stops me out, then I just look for another opportunity. Let's take one look at wheat here. This might be a good place to short too on the rally. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to short wheat. What's the main thing you see here currently? The reason not to short it. I mean, it's still bearish. We talked about it had the chance to have the fail breakdown, then spill balance, but what do you see here? Like 6 of them. Tails, exactly. Tails are instant rejection. Tails, tail, tail, that's not that big. Tail, 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 tail. So once we get below these tails, then I'm really, really, really interested in a short, and then free wheat for everybody too. All right, guys, I'll be back at 2 o'clock. I played my golf yesterday, so hopefully we'll get some action. Keep an eye on crude. I think this thing's gonna just pop again. And then the grains. I will post as I see. If I see some new stuff, and you guys do the same. Keep everyone, if you see something, post it so people don't miss trades. That's the whole idea of this room. I will see you guys at 2 p.m. Central. Thanks.